A time for reflection. I want to reflect for one moment. I want to think back in your life. I want you to think all the way as far as you can and think of all the things you've achieved in your life and what was one of the key ingredients to you achieving the outcomes you've achieved in your life. So it could be passing a driving test, it could be finishing university, it could be getting that job, it could be getting into great shape. Think back in your life for one moment. And if you don't mind getting a pen and paper, if you've already got one, you might have time to get yourself a cup of coffee you want as well, quickly, or let someone else make a coffee for you. What was one of the key ingredients for you to achieve some of the outcomes you've achieved in your life thus far? Your driving test, getting in great shape, starting a business, anything, getting through university. Take a moment to think, what was one of the key ingredients? You can be sure that with a number of essential principles to succeeding, one will have been motivation. Now, if you went to the same school I went to, we didn't do any lessons on motivation and understanding how we're motivated and how we can motivate other people. That said, I'm not having a go at the education system because academically we've got a series of subjects that we study, yet in saying that, one of the most essential ingredients for anyone going on to achieve anything is being able to motivate themselves and stay motivated and also motivate other people as well. So tonight's seminar is going to be a really powerful seminar. I'm going to teach you how you can keep yourself motivated, and I'm going to teach you how you can motivate other people as well. So by the close of play, tonight's seminar, you'll have a very powerful technique that you can use for yourself to stay self-motivated, and also you can use to help motivate other people as well. So whether you're a coach, a therapist, a manager, you're in sales, you're a leader, you're a parent, you're a fitness trainer, almost any role that we do in life, it's essential to be able to motivate people. And equally, it is essential to be able to keep ourselves motivated. Because motivation is one of the key, if not one of the most powerful ingredients for us to get from A to B. So tonight's seminar, we're going to explore the world of motivation and how we can motivate ourselves to achieve the outcomes that we want. By now, most people who set New Year's resolutions or goals in January probably would have given up. Do you know anyone that set goals or resolutions in January? We're in March now, and they've given up. Most people have given up. And one of the reasons why a lot of people give up on their goals, certainly in my experience of working with people across a broad range of areas, I work with world-class business people, athletes, I've worked with people across many disciplines, I've worked as a therapist, and in my experience, one of the key essentials to anyone achieving their goal and staying the course is being able to stay motivated. And what is their why? What's their driver? Why do they want it? You've got to really want it. If you don't want it and you go into anything half-hearted, then you're not going to get very far, one would say. And when I started the seminar this evening, I talked about how in your own achievements, know that you haven't made plenty of your own achievements, or you wouldn't be where you are now, you wouldn't watch the seminar if you hadn't achieved a lot of things in your own life. Motivation was a key ingredient. The days where you get up in the morning and you think, I can skip this training session, or the days where you get up in the morning and think, you know what, I can't be bothered doing this anymore. They're the days that we've got to keep going. They're the days that we've got to step up and keep focused and keep going. And tonight, I'm going to teach you how to stay self-motivated and also be able to motivate other people. People ask me the question, Jim, you seem to be motivated all the time, you're focused, how do you do it? You get up in the early hours sometimes and you travel all around the world. How do you stay motivated through thick and thin? Well, a lot of it's down to having a strong enough why, a desire to do what I do. And I think that's the essential thing. I really believe some people like the idea of doing stuff, but some people actually love doing what they do. And I think that if you've got a strong enough why, you'll go a long way towards achieving the goals you want to achieve. Now, take a moment to think, and if you've got a pen and paper, Write down where you are in your life right now. So where are you in your life right now in the context of any goals you set yourself? Where are you now? So it could be you set a health goal, fitness goal, career goal. Where are you now, this present moment? And where do you want to be? And I would go so far to say it's your motivation is the key for you to get from A to B. Because I meet a lot of people, I see a lot of people in seminars and conferences and courses, and they tell me they've got these goals, and years later they've still got the same goals, so they've not done nothing about it. They've not written that book. They've not started that business. They've not pursued that dream. And I'm not saying how they shouldn't live their life. All I'm saying is that there comes a point in your life you either want it or you don't. If you don't find a way, you'll find an excuse, is what I found. People from all circumstances in life, no matter what the situations, will find a way to achieve their goal if they really want it. But before we begin and talk about this powerful process, I once read a book. I don't know if you've read it yourself. It was by Dr. Viktor Frankl. Powerful book called Man's Search for Meaning. If you haven't read it, first thing you do when you finish watching a seminar, get the book. Fantastic read. It's about this guy, Dr. Viktor Frankl, who was Jewish in the times of the Second World War, was in a Nazi concentration camp, and he talked about the horrendous atrocities that he experienced. It's horrendous to think that human beings can do that to each other. And it is so sad to think that human beings, as capable as we are of doing so many amazing things, people can do things like that to other people. Very, very sad. And the story talks about how he survived the worst atrocities you could ever imagine. Now, he said that one of the things that kept him going was to see his wife again. He got taken away from his family, and he saw people die around him every day, and obviously the things that he experienced in the concentration camps. Now, one of the amazing things, he said that what kept him going was to see his wife again. So that was his main driver to keep him going. Then what happened after he got out of the concentration camp, he heard that his wife had passed away. So he gets out of the concentration camp and he hears that his wife has passed. And you can imagine that point there, his wife is what kept him going all those years in the concentration camp, and then he gets out of the concentration camp and he finds out that she'd passed away. And he said at that point, this is using my words, not his, read the book and you get a better indication of what he says. He says that at that point there, that he sort of wasn't sure what to do, because that's what kept him going. But he felt that at that point there, what could carry on keeping him going was the fact that he felt that he wanted to help people and take some meaning out of what had gone on and to go on. And obviously he went on to become a very successful psychiatrist and phenomenal book. So, and the reason I use that example is it shows how strong the human will is. We are powerful beyond any realms of imagination. Our human spirit is strong. I can honestly say that in my experience of working with people, it's in adversity you find how just strong people are. And no doubt you've been through your own adversity and you surprise yourself. All I say is don't wait for that adversity before you come out and do what you want to do. But our human spirit is really, really strong. So motivation. What is motivation? You've probably heard all these wonderful, weird theories of motivation. I'm going to keep it really simple tonight and really easy to process, because I remember hearing all sorts of principles and theories when I was studying about motivation, and some of them went over my head, until finally it dawned on me that the most powerful principle of motivation is we're either motivated away from pain or towards pleasure. So carrot and stick, away from pain or towards pleasure. So make a note of that. We're either motivated away from pain or towards pleasure. And I'm going to talk more about how we can use this process, because I've been to seminars that talked about it but never told you how you can adapt this to your coaching or to yourself or to people around you. So I'm going to teach you how to use this principle to motivate people around you and to motivate yourself. So away from pain and towards pleasure. Now, an example is, so some people go to work towards pleasure because they want to buy a new car, they want to go on holiday, they want to travel the world, whatever, but towards pleasure. And some people go to work because they want to not live on the street, or they want to pay lousy bills, or they're afraid of the pain if they don't go to work or not be able to feed a family. Some people are away from pain, some people towards pleasure. Now, it's really important to note that we're going to touch on this throughout seminars, context dependent. But another example, so someone in their health, their life, fitness and health, they might be motivated towards pleasure, that six-pack on the beach, so they can walk on the beach with the six-pack, or they get the compliments, they feel great, or what goes with getting in great shape. Or some people away from pain. So some people are afraid of the health risks associated to not training or eating well. So according to some information you read, you could get higher risk of diabetes, of cardiovascular disease, all the away from. Okay, so some people are away from pain, they train and get healthy, some towards pleasure. Now, as I mentioned, it is context dependent. An example of that might be someone in sport. In their career in sport, they might be very away from the pain of not achieving what they want to achieve, so the fear of failure drives them. But in their personal life, they might be very towards. So outside the industry that they work in sport, in their personal life, they want to buy a nice home, a nice car, take the family away, nice holidays, good school for the kids. And that could be the same for someone working any job. So maybe in their career they could be very towards, in their health they could be away, or either or. So all I'm saying is it's context dependent on every situation. It's never an exact science. And that's why we're going to do this very powerful process, teach a powerful process, so you understand how to understand people and understand yourself, which is really important. I'm not saying one is right or wrong. I'm not saying a way is negative. There's been plenty of people who are motivated away from a negative outcome who've gone on to do great things. And I challenge you to go away from here tonight and listen to people's language patterns and see what their driver is. Example is, if you read the story about Mother Teresa, what would you say? Is Mother Teresa towards or away? Towards pleasure, what motivated her work, or away from pain? If you read her story, she says that she saw people while she was a nurse in India dying on the street. So that's away from pain, and motivated her to do something about it. So that was her driver. If you watch the film Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, these giants among giants, Stephen Jobs, you'll see that a lot of them had drivers that were away from pain as well. So they weren't all towards. And I was watching a video on an interview with Richard Branson, and a lot of people thought that Richard Branson, while I was teaching the course, was very towards. I was doing this course, NLP course, and we were studying people's motivations. So I took a video, we had this video of Richard Branson being interviewed by some interview. You can probably find it on YouTube, Richard Branson interviews. And I demonstrated to my class and said to my class, what do you think Richard Branson is, based on what they see and what we see about him in the media. And then we all watched this DVD of him being interviewed, and during the interview he talked a lot about away from. He talked a lot about having his dyslexia, he talked a lot about him being motivated to make a difference for one reason or the other. The video is on YouTube somewhere, you can Google it, or you can read his book. I've read his book and I've watched his autobiography on that YouTube. It was really interesting stuff, so I would definitely tell you to watch that. But the reason I use the story is it can demonstrate someone can make the assumption. It wasn't until I actually showed the class I was teaching about motivation, we made the assumption that he may have been towards. We saw the actual interview and heard his language patterns, and we realised that actually from the interview he was away from pain. Now, that was in that context anyway. In different contexts it might be different. So I'm going to teach you tonight how to understand and be aware of people's motivation, how you can do it, and just by language, just in conversation. So what I want to teach you tonight is how just in fluent conversation you can converse with people, and through conversation you can understand and be aware of what drives them. And by doing that, that can go a long way towards achieving a positive result, helping the person achieve their goal. Because if you're a coach or a therapist, in the end, the longevity of your work is going to be based on people achieving their goals. If you're not achieving their goals, you won't have no business, which is really important. And no matter what you do, if you'll be a teacher, you're a manager, you're in sales, whatever you do, it's really important to understand how people are motivated. Not how people are motivated is going to be a challenge. And most importantly, how you motivate yourself is really important stuff. So to keep it really simple, and I get a pen and paper, the first question you ask is just why. Why do you want it? So let's take your goal, for example. Let's take a goal that you might have. You've got a goal. Write your goal down. So your goal might be health, fitness. Your goal might be career. Your goal might be to start a new business. Why? Ask yourself the question, why do I want that outcome? And that will give you an indication of whether you're away from pain or towards pleasure. And you might be thinking that's not rocket science. Yet that said, very few people use it and aware of that. And when you hear certain people talk about leaders being very powerful, they talk about people management, people have to manage the person. And top leaders, great football managers, great leaders of anything have the ability to understand what drives the people or person to help them achieve the task or the outcome. So why do you want your goal? Now that in itself will give you some indication, yet it might not give you enough indication. So I'm going to give you an extension of that process with what you do. For example, sometimes you might ask someone the question, why do you want it? And you get like a rough idea of what they might and might not be. Yet in saying that, a little bit more formal process that you could use, and you can still use it informally, is ask the why 2 or 3 times based on each response. Example, I was in America doing some work last year, and I was talking to this parent, and I said to this parent, why do you want your son to go to this specific university? And he goes, because it's the best university for the course he wants to study. Now, what would you say that is? Towards or away? I'd say it sounds to be more towards, yet in saying in certain cultures people tend to be a little more gung-ho. In American culture, a little bit more gung-ho, a little bit more proactive in their communication. So I felt I'm going to ask him again. I said, well, why is it important that he does the course that you guys think is right for him to do? And he says, well, it's really important he goes to uni and does that course because I don't want him to have a life away from pain like I had when I was growing up. I didn't go to uni and we were quite poor and we really struggled. And it took me a long time to get myself on my feet. A lot of struggles and trials and tribulations. And okay, I said, well, why is that important to you? It's because I don't want my son to have to put his kids through what I had to put my kids through in the very early years of their life. So what I'm saying, on each response, ask the why question. So response number 1, ask why. Response number 2, ask why. And that'll give you a broader picture of what's driving that person. So I felt by the process and having that discussion with that parent, his driver was avoidance, away from pain. Now there is a spectrum and no one's going to be totally one or the other. No one's going to be totally one or the other, yet in saying that you can build a picture. So if you're in sales, for example, you might ask the person, why do they want to buy that telephone, that car, whatever it is? And they're either going to be avoidance, away from pain, or towards pleasure. So if you're a personal trainer, and you might be saying, well, you're not in sales, and I'm sure a lot of you watching this aren't in sales, but we are all in the business of selling ourselves. If you're a teacher, you're a leader, you're a parent, you're a manager, anything that we do, we've got to buy into you. Your kids have got to buy into you as a parent. They've got to believe in you. Your staff, your students, people buy people, you've got to buy into that person. So whether you're in sales or not, you're still in the business of selling ourselves, of promoting ourselves, and the best way to do that is find out what's driving that person to achieve the outcome, which is important. So let's go through this process now. If you've got someone to work with right now, great. If you haven't, let's do it. I'm going to do a bit of coaching, a bit of free coaching for you. Okay? So choose a goal, health, fitness, career, whatever it is. So you write your goal down. Please write your goal down. Okay, now having written your goal down, I want you to ask yourself, why is that important to you? Why is that goal important to you? And we'll have an elicitation, a response. After that response, I'm going to ask you again, why is that important to you? The first response. Now I want you to write down why it's important to you. And I'm going to ask you the question again, why is that important to you? So let me give you another quick example, and we'll do it again to embed the learning. Make sure you take part in the exercise, because it will embed the learning. If you don't take part in the exercise, then you're not going to learn as much as you will do. This is crucial information. Let me give you an example. One of my goals is to introduce emotional intelligence in as many schools, if not every school in the country or in the world even, one way or the other. And I have a goal to do that because I believe by doing that it's going to create a really positive environment. It's going to make a big impact in society. I think it'll make a massive impact in society in a lot of positive ways. It's going to help young people with eating issues. It's going to help young people with self-esteem issues. It's going to help people with self-harm. I think it will help people. Because emotions drive our behaviour. Yet we don't spend enough time, if not any time in schools, teaching young people about their emotions and behaviour. We do a lot of math, we do a lot of science, we do a lot of English, but we don't spend any time. Well, certainly I didn't. In the schools I do talks in now, I don't do enough time on that. And when you think that our biggest behavioural drivers are emotions, we don't spend no time in it. Now, I'm not going to go on about that now, but give me an example, that's my goal. Now, that might sound really towards, it is towards, to a point, yet the fuel that burns my fire is a way, or at least was a way. I've done some work on it. I've always been an away person. Being an away person sometimes causes stress in your life. So I've done techniques I'm going to talk about later you can do to change. Yet, in saying that, if you ask me the question why, what drove me initially to want to do that and achieve that goal, is growing up I had it tough. It was tough growing up. I felt growing up really lonely and isolated. I felt misunderstood. Up until the secondary school, when things became more logical and there was less time for creativity and story and drawing and art, I felt lost, lonely and isolated. I felt that I'd gone from the top tier of classroom activity to the bottom, literally overnight, and it really smashed my self-esteem. And I felt lonely and lost. And as a result of feeling that, I felt that, where do I go from here? And my saving grace in the end was coming across things like NLP, eventually with my late teens, and being good at sport helped me a lot, so I put my self-esteem back up and made a career out of it eventually. Yet, in saying that, my driver was a lot away from. So if you ask me the question why, that was important to me because I don't want, and I wouldn't want any young person to go through what I went through. It was horrible. If it wasn't for like sport and coming across NLP at a certain age for me, I don't know if I'd be here now. And that's me telling you. And on heart, I don't know. I really struggled. It was tough. I had very severe asthma as a child, a lot of asthma attacks. There were times I couldn't breathe. I didn't really have a good support network around me. And it was tough. And there were times I just felt I just can't do this no more. Struggling at school, didn't know what to do as a career. I didn't know, I couldn't get into uni to do anything. Grade-wise, I didn't particularly enjoy school. My learning style didn't adapt to that sort of environment. And that sort of drove me. And I give you an indication that, see, a way can be a powerful driver by asking that question again. So let me ask the question again. Why do you want your goal? Why? Why do you want the goal? So whatever it is, your career, your business, why do you want it? And based on your first response, why do you want that? Why is that important to you even? Why is that important to you? So why do you want the goal? And on the first response, why is that important to you? On the second response, why is that important to you? Now, time, because of time, we don't have time to go into too much detail. If you get the chance to, you go away and work with that in your own time, your own pace. Just remember, ask yourself the question, why is the goal important to you? And then ask yourself the question based on the first response, the second response, and the third response is why is that important to you? Why? Why is that important to you? And you'll get a list of answers. And with those lists of answers, you can sort of like pick out the bones in terms of an idea of what's driving you away and towards. You might think at this point here, oh, that's great, Jim, I've got the information. What do I do with it now? Now, what we can do with the information is put it into a couple of techniques I'm going to share with you tonight. Awareness is key. The first part of succeeding on any level is having a strong sense of awareness. So awareness is quite useful. Yet in saying that, we can use the information to go forward and technique. And one of the techniques I use with my clients to successfully motivate them towards achieving their goal, having been a coach for many, many years, I've worked with many successful people in business and sports. I've worked with high-risk offenders and motivated them to do education as well. I can honestly say a lot of it has been able to understanding and being aware of what drives them. And my own motivation to go on and do what I've achieved in my own life, writing books, doing seminars, traveling the world, is being aware of my own motivation. So what you do with it is, get a pen and paper or get a flip chart and draw a column. Okay? And on that column, what you write down is just pleasure and pain. And I want to do the exercise with me. So choose your goal, whatever it is. Getting in shape, starting a business, whatever your goal is, choose your goal. And I want to write down in the list, what pleasure will it bring your life in achieving the goal? What pleasure will it bring to your life? And write an exhaustive list of what pleasure it will bring to your life in achieving the goal. What pleasure? And not just yourself, also the people around you. Who else are you doing it for? Are you doing it for your children? Are you doing it for your family? For your wife? For your husband? For the community? For the world? What are you doing it for? Why? What positives, what pleasure will it bring? So for example, if you want to get in great shape, it might be that you can play sports with your grandkids, with your kids. If you, for example, want to get in great shape, you might want to get that six pack on the beach. You might want to get into that dress or that suit. It's all up to you. It's just write a list. One list will resonate more than the other, and that will give you an idea. Now on the other side, pain. What pain will it cause you if you don't achieve the goal? What pain? And this is a process you've done in your mind already for a lot of outcomes that you achieve. Well, what pain will it cause you if you don't achieve the goal? And what pain will it cause the people around you? Because sometimes you've got to dig deep, and you've got to do it for the people around you. You've got to do it for your kids, for your family, for people around you. Sometimes you've got to fight and stand up for yourself and keep going, because it's all too easy to give up sometimes. And write down what pain it's going to cause you. So if you don't get into shape, the pain it can cause you. So the health risks, that could be early onset of diabetes if you don't start eating well. It could be that cardiovascular issues. It could be you want to start a business, and the pain it's going to cause, the pain is going to cause the people around you if you don't keep going. And like we said earlier, the pain it can cause family, friends, yourself of not achieving the ambition. And write down a list of reasons. The point on this column here is the pain it will cause you. And this is your why. This is the fuel that burns the fire. And now that you've got it in front of you, visually, you can see it. And sometimes what I'll do when I'm going for a goal, a huge goal, people say to me, Jim, you're crazy, you'll never achieve that. When there's a will, there's a way. I know if it's important to me, I'll find a way. And that's why earlier in the seminar I said that motivation is one of the key ingredients, if not the most powerful ingredient to achieving anything in life. And think about it. Your mind is as great as anybody else's mind out there. What's the difference between your mind and anybody else's mind? It all comes down to how motivated you are. How much do you want it? How much do you want the goal? Are you willing to fight for it? Because no doubt whatever goal you achieve, you're going to hit roadblocks along the way. There's going to be times when you're going to find it tough. There's going to be times in your own life where it's going to be challenging. You go through your own trials and tribulations in life. When you've got a goal, you're going to have people who are going to try and stop you from getting your goal and make it a business to do that. And you've got to find a way through. Find a way through. And to wait to find a way through, you've got that. So you've got that list there, you can write it down. The other thing you can do as well is create a vision board. Very towards, create a vision board. Get a vision board, okay? And put pictures of how you want to look like when you're in great shape. The dresses, the suits you can wear. The six-pack, if that's what you want. Okay, so it's a business. It could be the house you want to live in. The places you want to travel. The people you want to meet. Create a vision board. Okay, if you're very towards, it's useful to create a vision board. And if you're away, maybe you want to put images of the pain it's going to cause you if you don't achieve the goal. Or maybe you want a combination of both. One will resonate more than the other. So, for example, you might put a picture in your vision board, on a vision board of yourself, the way you don't want to look like weight-wise, and you carry on with the sort of nutritional plan you're in already anyway. And sometimes one will disturb you enough to move forward. I remember once, years ago, I was doing seminars, and I'd been an athlete. As an athlete, I used to eat a lot of food, as you do, for energy. And I carried on eating the same volumes of food when I had to retire for injury, yet I was doing seminars on unhealthy eating, and I was about 4 or 5 stone overweight. And one day I caught a reflection of myself in the mirror on my way to a seminar, and I thought, geez, I just disturbed myself. I can't believe I let myself get to where I am. And that really motivated me to go on and do a juice fast. I'm not recommending juice fast for everybody, yet I wasn't feeling so great as well, because I was always lethargic and tired, eating the wrong foods, eating hotel foods, and that's what motivated me. And I kept that image. Whenever I got up in the morning and felt, I can't be bothered juicing this morning, it's just easier to do whatever, to get a donut, some cake and a coffee, I thought, no, I'm not going to go there. And that really motivated me. Okay, the pain it was causing. And I want to inspire people to do what they want to do. I felt that I needed to step up as well. So it can be really powerful stuff. So the process is to have a vision board if you're very towards, and obviously pictures if you're very away from. And I'm not saying one is right or wrong, and maybe you want to have a balance of the two. Yet the first technique is to write down your list, and your second process is to put visual images. And that's pretty powerful stuff as well. And from a personal point of view, you can do it yourself. With your clients, you can ask them why, what's their driver, why do they want the goal, and then you'll get an idea of why they want it. And having got an idea of what they want, and ask them, well, why is that important to them? And you've got a big elicitation of reasons, and they can write their own reasons down. So when the going gets tough, and it will, because there are times when it's very easy to just say, you know what, I can't be bothered anymore. They keep going, they go the extra mile. Because you know the minute you're going for any goal, or you're working towards achieving any outcome, there's going to be times when you have things that go on in your own life. You go through your own trials and tribulations. You think, well, I'll start tomorrow, or I won't bother this morning, or I can't be bothered this morning. And there's sort of things that you've got to overcome these hurdles throughout life. And that's what's really important, to have these strategies in place to help you go forward. Now, going forward, some other pointers I want to put in place, which is quite useful to you in terms of motivation. Now, create a vision of what you want. What's the vision? What do you want? And have that vision. Excite your imagination. And create a vision with the people that you work around as well. You know, what's their vision? What's the vision look like? Start the end in mind. What's it going to be like when you achieve the goal? You've got to keep going, especially on the days when it gets hard. What's the vision? You deserve it as well. You deserve what you want to achieve. In life, sometimes we do ourselves a disservice and talk ourselves out of going for stuff. You deserve it. You're entitled to it. It's really important to make a note of that. You deserve it. And talk to what we call the unconscious mind. You know, you've got the same mind as anybody else in the history of people. You've evolved over thousands of years. This is the most powerful resource you've got. So self-talk is really important. Change your negatives into positives. You know, stay focused. Keep focused. And think about the good things you've done in life already. I bet you've done, and write it down. Write down all of the good things you've done in life already. I bet you've done a lot of good things already anyway. And ask yourself the question, is that all it is? Is my life's work done now? You know, surely there's a lot more to you. To this point, there's a lot of people out there who've got a book in them. They can start that business. They can make a massive decision. And it's really important that they go forward. It's how life works. Because I believe sometimes we get caught in that trap in life and we start thinking that we're going to be around for an eternity. We're not. At least in this form. We're all special, we're all unique. We've got to let, I believe, the universe shine through us. Because when you think about it, there'll never be another you. There never has been, genetically, the way you are. And you're 1 in 7 billion now. There'll never be another you again, at least in this form anyway. And as human beings, we're energy. So it's really important to project your energy and let the universe shine through you. Because I believe that the happiest, most balanced people in the world are the ones who've got a sense of purpose. Who have got a strong sense of identity, who know where they're going and know what they want. That's, you know, really important to have that strong sense of purpose. And it's really important sometimes to walk away politely from people who discourage you from achieving your goals. Sometimes you can hang around and associate with people who try and put you down, they're negative, they tell you can't do it. And I know it's not always easy because we've all got friends and sometimes even family who discourage us, yet saying that, there's got to be a borderline. I'm not saying walk away from family and friends, I'm just saying sometimes you've got to put an energy shield in front of you and just bounce the energy off. And sometimes you've got to walk away from certain people. If they carry on putting you down, and they don't want to help you achieve your goal, get in great shape, or make that career change, they keep pulling you down, then it's not doing you any good. You've only got one life, as far as we're aware, at least in this form anyway. And I think it's really important to go out there and do the things that we want to do, and also motivate someone else. One of the most powerful ways to motivate yourself is to motivate someone else. Be a mentor. I'm a mentor. I mentor a lot. I mentor people. I'm a mentor in a college. I go in there and I do talks on success principles and NLP, and it really helps me stay motivated. And the motivation is by helping young people, because I believe young people are our future. I believe that young people, we can't write young people off. I think that young people are the future of the world. It's really important for us as adults to inspire young people. So by motivating them, I'm motivating myself. I know there are certain days where I'm standing up to talk to a group of young people, and there are certain times in my life where things go on in your own life and you think, I've got to put all that to one side, because it's really important that we inspire a generation of people to go on, because there's an abundance of opportunities out there, and it's really important to recognise the opportunities. We live in the UK. For those of you watching in the UK, it's a fantastic place. The UK is a fantastic place, and I tell them that because you've got 40, 50 cities you can travel to in 2 hours. If you want to travel, you've got a European passport, get to America in 5 hours. There's so many possibilities that you've got over here. You can start a business pretty easy enough. It costs you nothing to do a website, and that's pretty much the same in a lot of Western countries too. So if you're from America, Europe, Australia, wherever you are, these are great places to be born and brought up in, because you've got many opportunities out there. The UK is a great place. These places, and we've got all the opportunities out there. There are countries in the world that you're really up against it from day one. It's challenging, and that's not to say that people can't go and do well there, because they can and do. I'm just saying sometimes we've got to look around us and see things for what they are, and go for it. It's really important that we do that. And also it's important to limit the intake of TV, because input in, input out. If you watch TV too often and you watch things like the news and certain things, it can't be good. It's not good for us. So I think it's really important to limit the intake of television, because television doesn't always have our best interest really. And that's what's really important as well, to make sure that we keep focused, we keep going. TV is not always good. You watch TV even passively, just to fill in time. Sometimes it can destroy your thought process. And it's really important to stay motivated. So read books, go to seminars, learn from people, make it a lifestyle thing. Keep motivated, have a network of people around you that are positive, that are focused. I joined a speaking group last year. I was in a speaking group many years ago, but I rejoined again last year, just for the vibe, for the energy. People improving themselves and going forward. And I usually do the same as well. It's great being around people who, like-minded people who've got energy, who are positive, who encourage you, clap, who motivate you to go for it. And that's what's really important. It's got to be a lifestyle thing, because no matter what situation you're in, there are times you have setbacks. Now, we have setbacks, we sometimes have health problems, sometimes we have accidents, we have breakups, all these things go on in life. It's part of life. Yet it's how we overcome adversity is really important, because sometimes it's in our darkest hour, our finest moment. So sometimes we're going to find positive out of a negative. And in life, I believe that every negative is a positive that comes out of it, if we look for it hard enough. Because I believe adversity is a challenge. And sometimes the universe has got bigger plans for us. And the universe, I don't believe, would choose you if it didn't believe that you could go on and do whatever you want to call it, the universe, your God, whatever your spiritual faith is. I believe that there is a bigger picture, and you'd be very naive of anyone not to think there is a bigger picture in life. Because if you think about it, we're a miracle in itself, and we've got to expect miracles, because being alive and the functionality of the way we are and what we can do is a miracle in its own right. By expecting miracles, we realise that there's no challenge too great. Sometimes our biggest challenges in life are the ones that we step up and go on to do great things. So, to reiterate, tonight's seminar in motivation is finding the why. And I just want to also reiterate that it's very context dependent. There is a spectrum. No one's going to be one or the other. Yet in certain areas of our life, it might be one kind of be one or the other. And it's useful for you to go away and find out. So what I want to do before we close tonight is I want you to set a task for you to go away. I want you to tonight take 15 minutes, just 15 minutes tonight, to elicit someone else's motivation driver, their style of motivation. For NLP people in this world, there's direction field test, a meta program. If you're not in the world of NLP, you don't have to be an NLP expert to understand how motivation works, pain, pleasure. But what I want you to do as a task to embed the learning, because you could probably go away and take a lot of pointers from the seminar, but unless you use it and teach it, but what I want you to do is to go away and listen to your own styles. Choose a goal that you've got and ask yourself why it's important to you. Why the goal, and what's important to you about the goal, and when you've got that response, ask yourself why that is important to you, and on 3 or 4 responses, I want to build a profile of what you might or might not be, and then write a list. And also what I want to do is to go away and write down a goal, the pleasure it will bring you by achieving it, and the pain it's going to cause you if you don't achieve it. And what I want you to do beyond that is to start working on your vision board. If do it for yourself, if you're a coach, maybe do it with somebody else. Tonight, if you can. If not, do it as soon as you can, because by teaching someone else, you're going to retain knowledge a lot more than what you would do if otherwise. Beyond that, feel free to email me, Jimmy Petruzzi. My email address is info@excel with NLP.com. So my email address is info@excel with NLP.com. So email me, Jimmy Petruzzi, if you've got any questions, comments, or feedback on tonight's seminar. I've really enjoyed delivering it. Hopefully you've enjoyed and taken a lot out of it. Till next time, have a fantastic week, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.